Bryce, are you ready?
Yeah.
Door's unlocked. You just tell Calvin to come in.
Yeah, I'll just let him know to come on in. Whenever.
It's probably here.
I just heard him, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Great time.
Great timing, Calvin. Fantastic timing.
We were like just getting ready to start. I was going to text you. We're coming.
Yeah. Fantastic timing, Calvin. Impeccable, some may say.
Indubitably.
All right. Well, whenever you're ready.
Are you ready? Are you ready, Freddie?
Yeah.
Mr. Pink.
Now I'm ready.
Black and white fit, but with green shoes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You didn't put on the Vans? The Vans would have worked.
These are the Vans.
You didn't put on the
black and white
the high
Vans?
tops.
Nah.
With mismatched socks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to put on the my Air Force Ones, but I spaced and didn't put those ones on. I actually walked here thinking that I had Air Forces on.
Welcome, everybody, to the Tipped and Stiff podcast with your hosts, Cade Alvarez and
Jarod Sturridge.
Jarod, nothing happened this past week, right?
No.
We've been having a struggle with every week where there's been no news.
No. It's been... Well, we have to change the format of the show.
We can't be topical anymore.
No, I think it's kind of a sign that we should stop just being topical. Everybody's topical now, you know?
Typical. It's typically topical.
It's typically I mean, except for Come Town, but they're ending their show, so.
Which we will take the place of.
Yeah.
Okay.
We kind of already have.
Well, Bryce, something actually did happen this past week. Did you know that?
What?
Do you want to play a game? Let me do a joke. It's a knock-knock joke.
Okay.
Knock-knock.
Who's there?
Women's rights.
Women's rights who?
Nobody's. There's nobody's. They're nobody's rights. Do you understand?
It's a fantastic joke.
That was horrible.
That was a really good joke.
Let's restart. Let's restart.
No,
I hated that. Yeah, we're restarting. Yeah, you're done. Everyone's done. All right.
Just read.
What did we? I want to know. We should talk. How are we going to open this? Because I want to do this. I want to do this right. I want to do it right. Because we need to talk about it. And I have my opinions formulated. I've read up.
Yeah.
I've read up enough.
I mean, I don't know, because we've talked about this. We talked about this a lot already, though. And I feel like we need to just get right to the new shit about it. Okay. Instead of having to because we don't need to recap. If people have listened, they've already heard our shit on it.
Okay, let's do it right now. Ready? Welcome, everybody, to the Tipped and Stiff podcast with your host, Cade Alvarez and
Jarod Sturridge.
Jarod, the U.S. government hates everybody that lives in it.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
And now it's for sure.
And now it's absolute. And they want, I think the government likes making people angry. The U.S. government gets off on taking people's rights away.
Yeah, definitely.
They really like it. Now,
no, it's good for them. It's good for everybody.
Now, what are we referring to?
Abortion. Roe v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
And now
historical.
It's officially overturned by the Supreme Court.
And a historical ruling.
Yeah.
Historical.
Why is it historical? You said something the other day about something like this specifically has never happened.
There has never been a time in the modern era where the Supreme Court has ruled on a generally accepted precedent to limit people's rights instead of expanding them. That's what's very insane about this.
So in the past, when they've overturned something, it was to expand rights usually. And it's never been in this case with this magnitude to limit someone's rights.
Whether it was people of color voting, whether it was women having the right to vote, whether it was LGBT rights, right? Usually they have ended up as expanding people's rights. But when we are in the midst of taking them away. Now, what's crazy about this, truly, is that they've flipped a precedent that was set 50 years ago. In the span of the country, that's a lot of time for as long as the country's been around. We've only been around for a little over 200 years. You know what I mean? 50 years. It's been set. Most people have accepted it. There's been generations born.
It's about a quarter of the time the country's been around.
Yeah. Yes. What people don't understand about what's so crazy about this ruling is that the way that they interpreted the 14th Amendment and the way that they talked about substantive due process, I cannot speak, is they put so much more on the table. Because what people don't understand is that the ruling, the pretty much the effectively overturning Roe v. Wade is affecting the right to privacy, which a right to privacy is not explicitly stated within the Constitution. And substantive due process is everything to do with rights that are not explicit within the Constitution. So now, since these Supreme Court justices are pretty much throwing that idea away, right? They not only took away, they not only made it made the ability for states to outright ban abortion. They made it where the federal government and states, or we could reopen the discussion on topics like same-sex marriage, same-sex relationships, and contraceptives, because the rights of the LGBT community and the rights to use contraceptives is not something explicitly stated within the Constitution. Therefore, if there is a judge, which there is, Supreme Court Justice Thomas, I don't know their full name.
Clarence Thomas.
Put in the 238-page ruling that they would like to see the 3 cases involving contraceptives, same-sex marriage, and same-sex relationships reintroduced to the Supreme Court, since they have now ruled effectively on Roe v. Wade. So the undoing of an accepted precedent has set a new precedent that the Supreme Court is willing to take tens of thousands of people's rights away.
Now, I wonder if that kind of decision would get a majority in the Supreme Court, because that's, I feel like, a step even further in the direction of, I feel like that's explicitly calling for violence.
But that's
you know what I mean?
It feels like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like
it's like antagonistic.
Yes.
To do that.
It feels that way.
Yeah.
It feels like we're antagonizing.
No, like people. It is, and it feels like it, but because it is, like because it would be like, what are you gonna fucking do about it? And then it's gonna be a gun. Yeah. Like somebody's going to.
They already had Brett Kavanaugh was already under more protection due to an attempted assassination, right? Or the attempted plot of his assassination, right? All of those Supreme Court justices right now are in Fort Knox. I mean, or they're underneath the 50 levels in the Pentagon. They're deep within the Earth's crust right now. The Supreme Court, I mean, it's just the fact that a president, Donald Trump,
didn't he appoint that Supreme Court justice?
He appointed 3 Supreme Court justices during his presidency.
Was one of them Thomas?
One of them was Clarence Thomas. One of them was Brett Kavanaugh, and the third one, I forget. Amy Coney Barrett. Yes.
And because Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying during Trump's presidency was one of the first, I think, biggest mistakes that the Democrats made, that Democratic people made, because that sounds weird how I just said that. But the fact that she died while Trump was in office rather than resigning when Obama was still in office,
right,
is the reason that it was the domino effect that allowed Trump that administration to gain more control over the Supreme Court.
Which ironically, I've been seeing Ruth Bader Ginsburg artwork being used as a symbolism to fight, resist this overruling, and it's just so ironic.
She's really a symbol for staying for the paycheck,
right?
Just grind it out,
grind it, suck it dry.
The thing is that obviously this is horrible because many people will be afflicted about this. Many people in the South will be afflicted by this. This is horrible. This is women's rights are.
A lot of people out west too. Right. Some the Nevada. I'm thinking Nevada and North Not quite the coast. The coasts are going to be all right, but
Utah,
Montana, Wyoming.
Right.
Colorado, I'm not really worried. But I mean,
and then there's going to be people coming to all these places all the time, like because it's like you're going to go get it done. You're not going to like.
That's the thing.
I heard last night that Ulta, the beauty company, is doing this thing where like any employee, I think it's any full-time employee for Ulta, now has the right to, if they need to get an abortion or something related to that, they can confer with someone, a new position in HR, to be sent to a state where it will be legal.
Wow, Ulta pledges to help workers travel for abortions.
Yeah, and everything would be paid for. Travel-wise, I think medical would be assisted in being helped.
God bless them.
See, but this is what makes me skeptical, is that like J.P. Morgan Chase is doing the same exact thing. Why the fuck would a giant mega bank be like? What is in it for them to try and like they're just maybe trying to save face? Oh my God,
it's a lot of save
Jesus
face.
Christ.
You can't even read the news anymore.
And they're like,
you can't even read the news anymore. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. People are like, well, we just got to show them what it means in the polls. They're gonna. Who are you gonna vote for?
Dude, saying vote is like saying thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
To be honest.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Dude, the thing is, it's like. First of all, they're like, we'll show them in the ballot. What, are you going to vote for a Republican? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Dude,
we're going to show them at the ballot. They don't let you vote for who you want to vote for, dummy. Here's the thing. Biden should have never won. You know who else should have never won? Trump. And you know who else shouldn't have never even been thought of to have the chance of winning? Is Hillary Clinton. Do you know who should have won? Bryce, do you know the answer? For 500.
Bernie Sanders.
Thank you.
Jill Stein. Let's get a Jill Stein for $1.5 trillion deficit.
Gary Johnson.
Gary Johnson. Gay J. I don't know why.
GJ.
Allegedly.
GJ. He's not allegedly gay.
No, I didn't say that.
You said Gay J, didn't you?
I was trying to like shorten it, like
yeah.
Like, I was gonna say Gare J, but I was like Gay J.
It's okay.
All
You made it was a simple slip up.
I wasn't calling him gay.
But that's what I'm saying. Who are you gonna vote for? Every time you get a chance, you don't show up. You get that weird conversation with all the old Democrats. Well, like, I want someone to win who's actually going to get something passed. I've been waiting for Joe Biden to do a single thing besides, like, slur his words or forget where he is or
fall off a bike.
Right. Or fall off a goddamn bike. Or
this shit was fucking hilarious,
or
too,
give,
by the way. He fell off. Calvin's losing it.
Or
he
give,
fell. He didn't even try to stop himself.
Or give, like, $20 billion. Like, dude, it is rough out here. Like, this is insane. Like, the amount of polarization that is in the United States right now is and should be considered terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, if we are on the brink, we are in the midst of a recession, but like the quarter of when the numbers hit for the recession haven't happened yet. So
it's going to be really bad.
The Fed hasn't officially.
They haven't changed the interest rates yet,
and they have now said that they are going to, in order to create a recession, to fix inflation. That's what they said that they will do.
Yeah, they are going to purposely put America into a recession to fix inflation. People do not understand that is one of the most terrifying things that have ever been spoken in this country.
It's fucking nuts.
But they say it in a way where it's just like, oh, it's just, we need to do this thing. And it's just like, no, like you're talking about like liquidating like the middle class, so like what's left of it, be like,
but
well,
to them
we
it's
need
just
to
like,
fuck these
move
people.
this over here and this number over here, and then this will balance out. And it's like, that's like 10 million people in there or more that like are affected through that.
I just don't understand how come we can't just start, collecting the money that we all gave to those companies during COVID.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we can't take that back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can't change tax rates.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let me get this right. We're going to go into recession, and we're just going to further along this process where, healthcare medical bills still remain to be one of the most hard things affecting people's lives, right? Paycheck to paycheck, because they have medical bills to pay, because hospitals are just like, you owe X amount of money. You know what I mean? We're going to kick that. So we're going to kick healthcare down the road. Then we're going to kick back
homelessness.
People who are homeless. We're going to keep kicking back the gas prices. We're going to kick back the interest rates. We're going to kick back the military spending. We're going to kick back the middle class disappearing. Just kick it down the road. I mean, see what happens.
Dude,
and as we're going, we're going to see how many rights we can take away on the way there. And then nothing's going to happen.
But then they're going to throw us in the box. And then we're going to go. Then they're going to throw us into the wires. We're going to be then Then it's like, well, then it's going to be this. Have you guys had enough?
Listen.
Get in the machine.
Listen, they just want, I think they want to see if they can have two presidencies where the parties in power both times will charge a government building. I think they just want to see if they can do it. Like, this is like, it's insanity.
They're instigating.
It's
shaking. It's like a kid shaking up like a jar of ants.
Listen, there's two government buildings now. There's three government buildings now in Washington, D.C. with the fence around it because they're worried people are going to burn it down. Yeah. You have the Supreme Court, Congress, and the White House fully guarded and armed and fenced up. They're about to build a moat. They're going to put alligators in it. They're about to make, you know what I mean?
And I'm not saying anything about people actually doing it, but it'd be a pretty picture. It'd
be something.
It'd be the picture of that would be a pretty picture.
Thank you.
So do you think that the CIA is going to do this one too, or
yes?
No.
Is it going to be FBI's turn?
No,
the FBI was last time.
No.
CIA is this time.
I got you.
I don't because if we look up the pictures and the videos of who's guarding the Supreme Court right now, they might as well be like the Men in Black super soldiers that have been sitting underneath the fucking basement in the Pentagon, just shooting up with steroids and adrenochrome,
Which, to your point, Bryce, is, those guys were not there on January 6th.
No, they weren't. It's amazing that
even though something arguably bigger was happening.
Well, they learned their lesson. That's why they're beefing it up, right?
Oh, right.
Right. Oops, I guess we need to beef this up.
I thought we learned our lesson on 9/11.
Yeah,
I thought we learned our lesson.
Yeah, thank you, Jared. I thought we learned our lesson that when the Secret Service is telling the government that something bad might happen, that maybe you should double down. Like, you should do something. Like, it's insane. Dude, like, if you keep looking back at so many things that happened, they're like, yeah, they knew it was going to happen. Like,
they didn't do anything.
I'm not trying to get on the big conspiracy tangent here, but go back to Pearl Harbor. Yeah. They knew months prior. They knew at least a month prior that Pearl Harbor was going to happen. They knew a month. The Russian intelligence, British intelligence, and French intelligence, and German intelligence knew 9/11 was going to happen and told the United States. And they didn't do anything. They let it happen. Let it happen in quotes.
We got this, guys.
You know what I mean?
They're like, spare me the details.
Thank you.
We're fine. The Dodgers play tomorrow. I'm fine.
Like, it's the same thing that, it's like the government constantly drops the ball on defending its own citizens. The same thing happened in Parkland. They knew that fucking kid who did Parkland was red flagged 2 times by the FBI and was still allowed to buy a gun. And then the police officers don't go in. What's the point of giving the police department and the military all this money if they're not doing anything? They're not protecting anyone. Then you have the fucking shooting in Texas where the Uvalde Police Department just wait out for 45 minutes getting phone calls from people inside the building. What's the point of having a government if they are not doing anything? Like, we have never had a greater example of the government consistently neglecting its citizens. And they're just like, feed them to the fodder. Just let them die. Like, that is the government right now.
It's a death cult. It is a death cult. It's like, just keep hammering them.
Right. The motto of the U.S. government, it should be the eagle, and then instead of, what is it, unus and nubere, or whatever it is.
E unus plurum.
E nubis plurum. It should just be let them die. Like, it should just be let them die.
It actually translates to let them die.
Like, that's what it is right now. We're just like, you're like, well, we have all these teenage pregnancies in the South. You know what we should do? We should make the accessibility to contraceptives and abortions harder. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Then today, it's like I'm at work and I get a woman who comes in and she works in realty. She's a realtor, and I'm talking to her about, like, the companies who are buying all the houses up. And it's like, so what? We're going to compete. So we're all right. So we just got out one of the most competitive housing markets ever. with the lowest amount of inventory that we've ever seen, where supply was null and the demand for housing was through the roof, right? Now we can't even figure that out because all the houses got bought up by companies that have trillions of dollars in net assets. Trillions of dollars in net assets. So you have these major companies and companies coming out of China buying a bunch of American real estate to make renting and property prices go up. And then you're like, food is through the roof. Everything we need is expensive. There's not a single necessity that's cheap. There's no one going to the store right now and going, that's a great deal. There's no one looking at a coupon book and boat going, man, if I miss it this week, I'm never going to save on this. I'm never going to save on chicken like this. There's no one saying that. There's no one saying that they're saving money right now. There's no one saying that, you know what, we're doing good. There's not a single, there is a few households, but the majority ain't. You know what I mean? You have fentanyl and opioid overdoses through the roof. Yeah. You have suicide through the roof. You have crime through the roof. Milwaukee has seen a 110% increase in homicide. Do you know that? Since last year, 110%. Do you think it's going to get better when the recession hits?
No.
Do you think people are going to feel more hopeful when they turn on the TV and instead of a COVID death counter, it's just the U.S. economy and they just see the red? They just see the red numbers.
Just like a homeless counter, homeless in your state.
Right. That's counter. What CNN should do. Yeah, if you're going to have a death counter for COVID, those fucking rats.
Yeah, free ideas, CNN.
Yeah, you should have 3 of them. We should, first of all, the whole channel should look like a goddamn Christmas tree of just all the stock market prices pointing downward in fucking red. And then we should have 3 separate things for opioid overdoses, suicides, and homelessness. Like, that should be CNN every fucking day, these rats. Like, that's the precedent that we're setting.
The Father, Son, and Holy Spirit of the American media is those 3 things.
The media is just going to put the fear of God into people every single day where they're going to think they're going to go outside and get shot. And that there's just homeless people perusing the streets.
Here it is, because you're on this accelerationist path now, and I'm waiting to see this return, because now we're at the time when it's every single day for the last 2 years where something terrible gets told to us is about to happen, or that they want to do something even more torturous to our country.
The nightmare is real.
Yeah, it's like
it's the American nightmare.
American nightmare.
That's what we live in. We live in it. Listen, the door has opened to the gates of hell. Like, the demons are here. They've been here. They live. They are among us.
I met some of them at the King Gizzard concert, by the way, and but it's low level demons.
Low level demons.
It's low level demons. It's like it's demons in training.
Possibly even interns.
Could be ghouls even. They're ghouls maybe.
Ghouls, goblins,
and demons.
But they're on a different level. But it's accelerating into something. It's accelerating to something. There's not even time to sit and just take a breath. No. I mean, there is if we decided to. But no one's decided. No one can. Because everybody is just so mortally scared about everything, and this isn't just about abortion.
They're domesticated.
That's the thing. They're trained to respond to this kind of affront to civil rights or to the general state of things with trauma response. And this goes back to that textbook How to Control People.
Right.
That was MK codified in the MK Ultra experiments.
Right.
But goes back even further to rules of war,
Yeah. Right.
It's psychological warfare. We're in a psychological war with our government.
Spiritual warfare.
Yes.
It's weird because you're.
Speaking of the way you just said that, dude, the new maybe a glimmer of hope, something that we can some icon that we can champion again. Alex's War is coming out soon.
What?
It's a documentary about Alex Jones.
Oh no!
But it was more so commissioned by Alex Jones. He didn't have a hand necessarily in the content direction.
I see.
But he met somebody who in Texas named Alex Moyer, who's this woman who's a documentarian who actually wants to tell a full 360 story on Alex Jones, like a documentary, and has done that. And like the way that Alex has seen it, the way he talks about it is he's like humbled, he's like relieved, and he's excited about like how it's going to depict it, because it's not just like making him this hero. Like it's showing his his back, front, and elsewhere side, like just
the whole nine.
Interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The whole fucking thing.
I'd like to watch that.
Yeah, I go see that because he's just one of the most interesting Americans of all time.
One of the most interesting media figures, specifically. I feel like just of all. Yeah, one of the most entertaining too. Like the amount of things that I've learned about media and journalism and reporting, and like just how what that world is probably like for him to gather as much information as he has is innumerable. Like it's insane.
Right.
How much what's the word? Like how much like the colors he has, like the fucking, how many stars on his jacket he has.
Right.
Metaphorically.
You got to think of when you're in the position like that, how much BS you have to go through and how much BS you accidentally believe.
Yeah.
And start talking about it. And then,
Dude, that happened to me last week when I was, not last week, a couple weeks ago when I was like, did you know 40% of people are on SSRIs?
Right.
I was like, I just read a thing wrong. But he was like, this shooting didn't really happen.
He didn't. Yeah.
And he told that to about 10, like, I don't know how many millions of people watched his show. Probably a lot.
A lot of people.
Probably like, I wonder if his show was ever bigger than Joe Rogan's show is right now. Like viewership wise.
There probably was a time. Yeah, because Joe Rogan's the #1 spot. He gets a view. We've looked this up before. He gets an average of like 10 million views. Yeah. And then next is Tucker with like 3.5. Tucker. Oh my God, Jarod, you know what's? We've been having bad luck at bars.
Yeah.
The past 2 times we went,
we've all of us in this room have had bad luck at bars.
The past 2 times we went to the bar there's been so much anger. Like we went. Listen, I don't know what it is. I've never been to a bar where and this is my personal experience, I'm not generalizing, but for me personally, I've never been messed with by a guy at a bar before. Every single encounter that I've had that has been negative at a bar has been with a woman, and I can say this because a woman literally assaulted me at a bar. Yeah. So like every time, like people not getting, like, it's like, listen, you get a few drinks in you and the confidence gets a little too high with, who you can go up to and just start chatting.
Listen,
to.
It happens to men and women, but
for sure. Like, but my personal experience,
but
right?
Between, let's just be honest, if a man starts messing with another man, the threat of violence is real.
Oh,
if a woman is messing with a man, the threat of violence doesn't technically exist.
Right.
Like it doesn't exist in the sense that like if you start fighting with a dude, people are probably gonna refrain from getting too involved to stop it from happening. But if you like start fighting with a woman, like you're getting stopped instantly. Obviously, like we saw last night, you're getting stomped. That doesn't mean that women should continue to fuck with people you, because it's demoralizing and gross.
People just need to learn how to control their alcohol.
Yeah.
And statistically speaking, women are small. The smaller you are, the less alcohol it takes. A beer for me versus a beer to someone who's 5'2" is a lot different, completely different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's just the thing. Like, the last time we were just trying to have a serious conversation at the bar, and this girl keeps coming up to me and is like trying to talk to me. And at one point we were like, it was like, we're trying to have a conversation right now. You need to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's never happened before. It never happened like that before. We're usually like not having anything real enough that we wouldn't like get interrupted.
Yeah.
But we were having we were having the kind of conversation that we were at another bar and we needed it to go on longer, so we said let's go to another bar.
Yeah.
So we went to like another space to like be even more just by ourselves and talk about it. And then some fucking dumb bitch that we knew from middle school who's there by herself, who's really drunk, who looks like a fucking
demon,
toad demon, like was just talking first recognized me and then recognized Ethan.
And then recognized me from the last time she saw me.
Yeah.
And then just started talking to me.
And she was touching your hair, I assume, or
yes.
She was literally whispering in your ear.
It was horrible.
Yeah, because she saw me and Ethan talking more specifically, because like she came over and started pulling on you, but then she became a problem. Then she made other people hate us. Dude. Like she made this older.
Wait, hold on. First of all, for that, she fucking went and sat across the patio and was sitting at a table by herself, listening to music on her phone at like at a loud volume, max volume, and was singing it. Like insane. That's insane.
You know this woman.
Come on.
That is insanity.
I'll tell you.
And then, like, this old woman comes out and she's like, "What are you doing all here by yourself?" She's like 55, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing over here by yourself? And she's like, "Those guys don't want to talk to me. They're being a bunch of bitches." And then it's like, I'm looking at Ethan and it's just like, here we go. Now we're about to pull 5 people in this shit for no reason. And then it's like the old lady starts yapping at me again.
Yeah. Like, you remember something she said? She said, like, what, have you guys never seen a woman before or talked to a woman before?
Yeah, saying
stuff
like,
I just don't talk to disgusting
and I,
women.
Glared over to them, and they're like, "Ooh, look at the way he looks! Like, look at the way he looks at us with a stare, and like in his hair." I'm like, "Yeah, it's so rude and it's so annoying."
Laughing. Yeah,
just like read the room, like be normal. Like, can you what the fuck? What are we doing? And then it's like, I'm not trying to get into a position where I'm getting hit by a woman. So I'm not trying to that's the thing. I will never antagonize a woman, especially when she's drunk, because if it gets anywhere, there's nothing I can do. She slaps me, I just got to take it. Like that, she slapped me. That's the end of the story. I can't do anything, right? So it's like you just have to either leave or ignore them. IGNORE. What do we do, class, when someone is bullying you? Ignore them. Because they're irrelevant and they should be chained to it. I mean, these specific people, not women, but these specific people should be chained to a desk and made to do car re-registrations for the rest of their life. My car re-registrations, specifically.
You know, I've never used this saying before. I heard somebody say it last night, though. It was about the fight that was happening at the bar we were at. Which was between a man and a woman, first of all, at one point. Someone said, equal rights, equal fights.
And then they said, well, not anymore.
And they were like, well, I see the results. And it's not looking good for anybody, really.
But the thing, so yeah, we went to a bar last night. You have to tell the beginning. I went outside to go listen to a song in my car, like with 2 other people in my car. We literally just went to listen to a song, and we're walking back and we hear yelling, and I'm like, bro, that's the bar we were just at. And we started doing the fast thing, because we were like, we gotta go see what's going on. Yeah. So what led up to it?
So we were in do we want to say the name of this bar?
No,
yeah, we don't need to put it out. We were in a bar in Kenosha downtown. What? No,
I said it's facts.
It's not facts, which is impressive that it wasn't.
You would think it would be facts, because they had somebody shoot.
It's like equivalent.
It's
just as scummy.
There's too many security guards at Fex, though. That's the thing. You have 4 people ready to take you down. Yeah. This bar has 1.
So and he held his own somehow.
They need another bodyguard there.
Yeah. So we are, one of the bartenders, she was standing next to us. We were trying to order drinks from her for 20 minutes, but she was so fucking drunk.
Plastered.
She was plastered that she asked us our drinks 3 times. You ordered a Jack and Coke, a Jack and Diet or whatever. And it doesn't remember at all. It doesn't even know what's going on. And she, at some point, I lose track of where she is, but we're all still sitting inside. And we hear commotion from behind us. And apparently some bridesmaid or somebody of a wedding party that was walking by called this bartender a dumb drunk whore or something like that. Some classic dumb drunk whore, something like that. And they knew each other, it seems, and then they immediately started swinging on each other.
They knew each other?
They knew each other, yeah. So they're just they're going at it in the streets, in the sidewalk. People are pulling them apart.
And that's when
that's when you started coming back. Shortly, a few minutes later, one of the male members of the wedding party is they're holding his arm back because he's ready to clock this woman, this bartender. of ours. Like,
he had a beer in his hand. He had a glass.
Yeah, he came back a little while later with a glass bottle. The police eventually showed up. The security guard's like doing his best. He's a strong dude. I mean, I don't know his name, but he's I've met him a few times. He's pretty good.
There was one moment before the police came that they were walking on the other side of the street. The wedding people. Mind you, the woman was still in her dress. Like the woman was still in her wedding dress. Like they were just got done with the wedding.
Yeah.
And they're walking down the street. And all of a sudden, the guy who almost punched the bartender in the face starts walking back. And, like, I'm like, Jarod and I are watching him. And he's, like, playing with his pants.
Dude, I said to you, I was like, this dude has a gun.
I was like, this guy's immediately I was like, this dude's about to blow this place down.
Yeah.
And, like, we, like, grabbed, like, 6 people. I'm like, we got to get inside. Like, this guy's about to he was so hammered. He still had the bottle in his hand. I was like, he's either about to throw this bottle or break this over somebody's head, or they have a gun, because the way that they were walking, like they were trying to like hide what they were doing with their hands. I was like, there's only one reason you'd be doing that. If you're coming back from like an aggressive area
to then leave,
to prove a point,
and come back right away.
That's what, because he left, because we don't know where he went. I'm like, this guy could have just gone to his car and I was about to blow this place down. Like that's immediately what I thought. And as he's walking across the street, the police come.
Yeah.
Like as he's walking, and like 5 police.
It took the police like 15 minutes to get there, and the police station is 2 blocks away.
That's true.
It was so dude, the Kenosha Police Department is embarrassing.
It's fucking dude. Because then this is the second half of the story, and can we get into this?
We won't say names.
Okay. Well,
hold on.
What? I was just going to say where it went from there. What do you have?
Yes. The thing is, the cops come, right?
Yeah.
They're taking names. Everyone's kind of like going in and out of the room. I'm excited. I'm like, ooh. Because I'm like, I love a good threat of violence every once in a while. I kind of like being in like, you feel that energy every so often. You're like, ugh. You never get to feel that. It's like being on stage. You're like, oof. It's so, like, you don't know what's going to happen. But the bartender got like punched in the mouth and her mouth was cut. And they had cameras of this woman punching her. So like, she's going to jail. Yeah. So the police are like taking everyone, saying the owner comes and grabs like the cameras and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Again, we're very much coming in and out. And at one point, the woman gets arrested, like in a dress. She's in a dress, gets arrested. Everyone's out there going like, ooh. I'm like going, guess who's going to jail tonight? Like really loud. And then the biggest loser in the world came over. Mind you, he was a police officer. And comes over. And he's like, yeah, I don't need the peanut gallery over here, antagonizing the situation any further. I'm like, bro, don't you have a job? Like, this person just assaulted someone. Don't you think they should be a little embarrassed? Like, it should be the town should make fun of them.
Yes.
That is the town clown.
Yeah.
They're getting arrested.
They should be laughed at.
They should be laughed at. Officer.
Laughed into the sunset. They should be laughed into the cell.
Jarod said the funniest thing after that.
Oh, because do you know, the peanut gallery is an incredibly old racist term. I don't know if you guys know that, but the peanut gallery refers to it's from like the 40s. It's a section of like a public entertainment event for black people. Like it was the black section of that. And they called it the peanut gallery. I think because like the stereotype was made that like they could only afford the peanuts and then they would leave the shells everywhere or something. Like that's where that comes from, I guess. But the people use it all the time. I've had substitute teachers say like, that's not from the peanut gallery. Right. And then this police officer said it to all of us who were saying.
In the moment you said that, I'm like, how funny would it have been if Jarod just like PC, like progressive checked the cop? Like,
sir, that's a racist remark. Sir, that is what's the word?
Yeah, you got it.
It's
a microaggression.
I was gonna say that is a racial microaggression.
How stunned he would have been. That would have been.
He would have shot me in the head. He would have shot me in the head. He would have shot me in the head.
Also, it's like, how are you? You really like? I don't understand. Like, you're gonna come talk to a crowd of adults and tell them, all right, the peanut gallery needs to knock it off. We don't need anyone antagonized. Like, fucking. Dude, all right, the next time he pulls a gun out to shoot an innocent person, turn it around. Like, and I could say that to about the Kenosha Police Department because that's what they do. That's what they do. It's what they do. They don't take care of anything. They really are not. We have a horrible police force. They're never there when you need them. They were barely there for this. Dude, they spent so much time getting there. The crowd of people could have just left, and we would have never found out who it was. Like, they would have done nothing. Like, they're constantly dropping the ball. Like, that's what they do. The Kenosha Police Department is just a bunch of ball droppers. That's what they should be, the Kenosha ball droppers.
Kind of like the government.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Again,
Weird.
we give these people so much money in for what? To yell at me?
To arrest our friends.
Yeah. Now, what's the other half of the story?
The other half of the story is everything kind of settled down a bit. The police were still outside, though, talking to the different parties of the fight. We're inside the bar again. I decide that maybe we should leave, and everybody kind of agrees. They kind of were like, yeah, we should maybe leave. Let's close our tabs. Our friend starts trying to close his tab with the bartender, who isn't the former bartender, the one who was in the fight, was still outside talking to the cops. So the owner of the bar is in the bar finishing up the tabs and everything. He can't find our friend's card and claims, he's like, dude, we don't hold on to cards here. You have it, dude. You have it, bro. And our friend's like, I've checked my wallet 17,000 times. It's not in my fucking wallet. I gave it to the bartender, and then she went outside and fought, and I didn't get my card back. She's somewhere here. And the dude just refuses to look for it. And I was like, hey, man, let's just go check outside. Maybe it's on the ground. Maybe she dropped it. Maybe you dropped it. Let's fucking go look. It's not outside. But when we're outside, we see the other bartender go to walk back in. And our friend goes up to her and is like, hey, they don't have my card in there, and I don't have it, but I know I gave it to you. Do you think you have it somewhere? Do you know where you put it? Can you find it? She goes in, gets his name, goes in and finds it, comes back out a few minutes later and gives it to him. And he's like, thank you. And then he yells something back into the fucking bar because the owner was being an absolute dick about the whole thing. Yells something in there really quick. We're going on this. We're all getting ready to leave. And then some cops out on the street are like, hey, you're antagonizing. And then our friend's like, what the fuck do you even mean? Like I've just said what happened. He was being a dick about it, and he found it. And then he turns around and keeps walking. And I'm just like, yeah, let's just keep moving. And then the cops come and push me aside, and they put our friend against the pole, and they
did it right there.
They did it literally right there. And they were like,
wow.
they were like, keep walking. I was like, keep walking? What the fuck do you mean? I'm like,
wow.
And I was like, you serious? And
these cops are useless. They're
put him in the car, and then 2 hours later, our boy comes back.
What they just take him for a joyride?
They took him. He was sitting in the car for 30 minutes. Then they fingerprinted him, didn't charge you with anything, and then kicked him into the curb. This fucking pump and dumped him.
Probably because they knew something bad. Probably because they knew they probably fucked up.
Protect and serve.
Protect and serve. Right. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
they think everybody. Everyone was outside. They were like, how are you going to get someone on a public intoxication claim when literally there was 6 people just brawling in the streets and everybody who was drunk to watch that walked outside and was enamored by it. It's and then you pick one dude who didn't touch anybody, brought the woman who got punched in the face and was bleeding a napkin to wipe the blood off her face. Fucking was trying to pay his tab and leave the fucking horrible scene. Listen, and then they arrest them. Listen, so it was stupid.
If you can't berate an owner of a bar for not getting your card, I don't want to live in this country. We live in a fascist nightmare. We're about to hit it. You remember when everyone's everyone thought that Trump was fascist. Now we're about to hit it. We're about, dude, because if the government gets a little more mouthy, these cops are going to get brave. You know what I mean? If they start seeing that people aren't doing anything about anything, they did. To be fair, we had a summer of it. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
But we haven't. It's been a year and a half since anything has happened with that.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I'm just saying, yeah.
I don't know. Well,
it's gonna get weird.
Well, to get away from all this negative stuff, you and Bryce went to Bonnaroo without me, and you're back now.
Yep.
How was the trip?
Oh, I think we have a video to kind of just
fun.
To show it a little bit. Let's
Yeah, it was very fun. We missed you, of course.
We did.
Thought about you.
I was thinking about you a lot.
No, you.
Well,
I was like, he would really like this.
No, there was not.
Oh,
I think so.
interesting.
What?
Because I didn't think Cade would really like. I think he would have liked seeing a lot of the bands that we saw, a lot of the groups too. They were pretty sick.
Yeah.
And some of the people there were cool. I think he would have liked talking to them. There were some hotties. There was no boom baddies. There were some hotties. And well, it's not true, but
I was like, what? What are you talking about?
But the walking like 15 plus miles a day in the blistering heat, the dust in the air, the sleeping in tents. I just don't know if you would have loved the whole sweaty morning and the sweaty
hard
night.
On your body, yeah.
I would have ruined the trip.
It's
for
rough on you.
I would have ruined the trip for everybody. I would start complaining.
I think Eric or Kate would have shot you in the head.
Oh yeah. Oh
just
yeah.
like,
we would have not,
because Kate got sick, and that would have just been,
Yeah, but I didn't see Eric much that weekend. He was off with his lady. They were having their little romantic Bonnaroo experience.
I ran into Eric like right before Herbie Hancock. Eric and Marissa, and like they were drinking when I ran into them, and I had just drank like 3/4 of a Red Bull, and I never drink Red Bull, but I won it for free or something. And I just had I won it. I got a text that I won it, and I got it.
Okay.
I won it and I got it.
All right.
And I drank it, and I meet Eric, and we're like on two completely different highs. Like he's like this, and I'm like I'm repeating things that I've already said like 10 times. I'm actually so jittery. And then he like bought me a beer, and we went and saw Herbie Hancock, and it was But it was fun. He was just really like in a sweet mood, and he was feeling very happy about the people he was with.
He was very much in love, yeah.
He is.
And some random guy threw them, I guess, like a bag of mushrooms. He was like, "Hey."
That is true.
They're just sitting there, and he just threw like a bag of mushrooms at him. And he's like, "I grew these. Here you go." And they're like, "Should we take these?" Okay, well, let's watch this. And if you want me to pause it, just let me know. Just give me the look. A life of glamour.
A life of glamour.
How's it going in here? Oh, come on now, Walker. You're coming out of game. We're at Bonnaroo 2022.
2022, day 2.
Day 2. Technically, like really day 1. The first, really.
Are we having a weather advisory?
Yes.
The shit storms are coming.
Yeah.
The weather forecast today, a lot of clouds, angry storms, but it's going to be nice and sunny later.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's all worth it.
That was
Our
from
tents are going to be destroyed. Our children will starve. These streets will run with their tears and blood.
Basically, the storm is going to usher in a great age of suffering for
King Gizzard
player.
plays in like 9 hours, so
Right.
we're going to be great.
Producer Eric, trying to figure it out. Still trying to figure it out.
Dude, it was.
Sure, it was made by the one and only Andrew Liu.
Shouts out Andrew Liu.
There we go.
We'll be tagging him in other stuff. He's so good.
Friend of the show.
He's one of my best friends I've made the last 2 years of my life, and I love him. I wish he was here.
Rain, rain, go away, come again,
Hey, we're live from Bonnaroo 2022 in the back of Cade and Bryce's van. Trying to hide from the weather a little bit. It was really hot, and then it rained, and now it's gonna get hot again. But we're having a good time with all these people here. Met a few people, and you're gonna be jealous to hear about it all.
This was Friday.
This was Robert Plant, who was like pretty rough. It's like, damn, that was a bit of a letdown.
His voice didn't have it anymore.
Yeah, they didn't really go hard.
Someone shouted like, "Give me all your love," and he's like, "How dare you?" We're playing a chilled set because I don't have the time. Dipped and stiffed on the ground.
Jarod.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, all things considered.
All things considered. It's Saturday.
I saw King Gizzard last night, and they fucking killed. We got right in the front, you and I. Yep. We all were in there, killing each other.
Yep.
My phone got swiped out of my pocket, and yours almost did too, Bryce.
Yeah.
And like 3 other people's phones got swiped out of their pockets.
Dude, I think in the video, like that when I was editing earlier, like I think I saw the dude that was like with the backwards hat. Like, while we were taking that video, like he might have been like one of those 2 videos. He might have been in your pocket.
That's fucking hilarious.
Because it was during that like set, during that song, during Hell.
It was during Hell?
Yeah, it was during Hell.
That's why you were tweaking that they opened the portal to Hell and let some of the little demons out.
That's what I'm saying, dude, because they were literally playing and I was just dancing or whatever, and then I just felt a hand like digging in my pocket, like he was trying to get my phone, and I like put my hand in there and like grabbed it, and I turned and looked at him, and I made eye contact with him, and he like had this big like doughy like look on his face, like, and I just kind of was like, what the fuck, like, but so much is going on, like we're all squished and everything. Like
he could have just had his hand stuck or whatever.
Like, I was confused.
Yeah, I'm a fucking during King Gizzard. I noticed halfway through that my phone was just gone, and like 2 other people around me, their phones were gone.
Yeah.
So
some fucking little devious school was crawling through the crowd and just jacking phones.
I got it back the next day though. They caught the dude.
Yeah, he had 30 phones.
He had 30. I heard like 15. He had 30 phones.
Yeah, it was like 30. Yeah, because people do this at festivals. It's like organized. Like they just jack shit. And
yeah, say you pay $150 for like a day or 2-day pass or whatever, and then you get like 30 phones.
Yeah,
like that's smart.
You get caught, but
these times we live in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm chilling with no phone, so we have to refilm some shit. But I'm off the grid. I've always wanted to be.
This is the best thing that ever happened to you, really.
To be honest, yeah. I might just go back to my flip phone when I get a new SIM card and just like save up for a phone.
It's freedom, you know. You've disconnected from the little box.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah. So I'm probably not coming back for the podcast ever. I'm probably just gonna hit the trail down south here. I don't know. I might have the Appalachian Trail because we're maybe like a few hundred miles from that, right?
Yeah. I mean, if your phone gets stolen, you might as well just reset your life and just
that's my whole thing.
The wilderness.
Yeah, back to Bonnaroo, yeah, I'm excited. We're seeing Tool today. Shout out Tyler. I'm gonna try to see them for you, and Calvin. I know you guys love them. Who else are we seeing today? Fucking 100 Gex. Suicide Boys. Porter Robinson, maybe.
Yeah, that Porter Robinson, it was like
so
different, and like it felt like real art. Whereas like a lot of DJ stuff, I feel like sometimes it's just like drops and it's going hard. But that shit was like he like put a lot of like effort and thought, and like it sounded beautiful. It made me a little emotional.
Mm-hmm. You said because he took a picture of Alec. It was on the screen.
Yeah.
You said like that you felt like you were part of his artistic process. Like you said you were part of his art.
It felt very much like, at least in that clip that we just watched, it felt like he was. It was just this like very like atmospheric, beautiful kind of like sound painting that was like with like the lights and everything. It just felt like he was like trying to call attention to like being present and like that specific moment. It was very, very interesting, beautiful.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And different than like a lot of the other stuff, which is either just like, let's fuck,
yeah,
party, and like, let's fucking rage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was interesting, but
introspective day it was.
Introspective,
that one.
Yeah.
Mark Rebier.
Who?
Mark Rebier.
Who's that?
He's
Billy
like
Streams.
Billy Streams.
Oh, that's a TikTok dude. I saw him on TikTok.
Well,
okay.
He's a streamer guy.
I'm not trying to just...
Yeah.
I'm not trying to put him on that.
You're a TikTok dude, bitch. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
What were you throwing shit at? He's a party, man. He does loops.
I'm bigger than him on TikTok.
No.
Are you all having sex in there?
Gary? I'm not gonna tell you again! This is a girls' club, goddammit!
Yeah, they're having sex. Oh yeah, they're having sex. Oh, I just know it, I can feel it, yo, they're having sex. Oh, I just know it, I can hear it, yo, they're having sex. And that's, let me in, I'm trying to fuck. Let me in, I'm trying to fuck now.
You're a podcaster. You're the probably most shit on of the three.
I'll stream my coochie, and maybe then people will listen to our podcast.
You heard it here first, folks. The Tips and Stips OnlyFans is coming soon.
Oh yeah. Oh hi.
Nice form.
We're playing Coob. It's a good game.
Yeah, seriously.
I hated that stage so much. That stage was terrible. The bass was always just higher than everything.
Also, we were in a bad spot. I don't know why we said
Who's playing?
Mount Joy. Mount Joy.
One thing I need to say right now. Can you please pause? That about wraps up. Is there anything at the very end?
There's just a shot of
Okay,
us.
just finish it. Let's see the shot.
Nice cinematic fade. Eventually.
I'm blinking. Nice.
Now you're just extra happy.
So I would like to officially thank Stevie Nicks for the Ukraine and Russia propaganda in the middle of her show.
She did do that.
She did like a tribute to Zelensky with the song "Soldier's Angel," and then I left the concert.
It was rough.
I left the park after that happened.
It was a little rough.
It was her. She played great, but that was disgusting, and I definitely did not think highly of.
She's
that.
She's caught up in like the old lady sympathy like.
No, she got paid $10 million.
Real? Yeah.
Dude, she got paid by the Save Ukraine Foundation. Obviously, it was, you know, like that. But like they played on that sympathy, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, why are we doing this right now? Because that song that she played sucked. I never heard that, like Soldier's Angel or whatever.
Yeah,
I was like,
it was
this
really
is
cringe.
a fucking garbage song, but.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
like
that's
in the video, she did not sound very good, but I remember in the moment feeling like she sounded great. So
she did sound good.
I don't know.
So that was Bonnaroo in videos, but
in a nutshell,
it was pretty good. I bought the last pack of cigarettes in the entire park on one of the days.
Nice.
That was cool, and I got chased down for it by some women who wanted a cigarette. So yeah.
Did you give them one?
I did. I gave them one. That was nice. It was a Marlboro Ultralight 100. So yeah.
I'm glad you guys had a good time.
Thank you. Thank you, Cade. Yeah. Where are we at for time?
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this week's episode of the podcast. We have a show coming up, the Beachfront Festival with Love Your Community. That's on July 31st.
Yes.
which is coming up. We'll post more about that. There should be a clip out about that pretty soon. But
hopefully Eric will guest soon.
Who?
Eric Chambers, producer.
Who?
Eric Chambers.
I don't know who that is.
The producer of your show.
To talk about it?
To talk about it.
Yeah, we could do that before the festival.
Promote it.
Yeah.
I'll have to wrap my brain around who that is. But thank you to everyone for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Please support That's a Beauty Productions. And please support www.iKenosha for providing the studio space for us. And please check us out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere on the internet you could find us, except Twitter. But we are on Twitter, but Twitter is a hellscape.
We're going to get there. What is this?
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to